All right, hello, and welcome to today's class on listings and landing pages in KW Command. My name is Leah with Scott Leroy Marketing. In today's class, I'm going to take you through, first of all, how listings get into your KW Command account, all right, and how they syndicate out to Zillow, Trulia, and all those other websites as well. So we'll talk about listings, and then I'm going to focus a lot on landing pages, okay? I'm going to show you how to make a just listed or a just sold single property landing page, so you can market that out on your social media, etc. I'm going to show you how to make an open house sign-in sheet to help you capture leads from open houses that you have. And lastly, I'll show you where those leads go and how to create neighborhood landing pages as well. All right, so fun stuff planned today. The first thing we want to do is log into KW Command. So to do that, we're going to log into agent.kw.com. Again, that's agent.kw.com, and that's where I am on my screen here. And the way I remember that is it's like the agent login for kw.com. So that's agent.kw.com. And if you have not already, that is a great thing to add to your bookmarks bar. You can just click the star, depending on what browser you're in. You can click on the star on the far right of the URL bar to add that to your bookmarks right away. And I would suggest that because you go to command daily as a KW agent. Let's go ahead and log in. Okay, so the username and password that you use for command, that will be the same thing as your MyKW login. It's the same login for the Kelly app. So they are trying to streamline all of your logins and passwords to be one thing, which is beautiful because I don't know about you, but I have way too many passwords to remember. So if you're having any trouble logging in, feel free to click Forgot Password. It can help you reset it. And if you have any issues with that, you can email us too, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We just need your MyKW username and we can help reset the password. All right, if you're still working on logging into command, that's fine. Take your time. We are going to do one piece of housekeeping to make sure your account is set up properly to brand you all your contact info on every landing page you make automatically. So if you could follow me once you log into command. Once you log into command, let's go ahead and click our name on the very top right of command. And then settings from that dropdown. And I'll point out the noteworthy moments of class that you'll want to jot down items. This is one of them. There are 4 steps to access your command marketing profile, which is what feeds all your contact information, headshot, logo, etc., to every landing page that you create. And I'll explain more on that. All right, but that's why I would recommend writing this down, because if you change any contact info, like get a new headshot, a new phone number, you just need to change it in this one spot and it'll update on all sites within command. So again, those steps are, first, your name on the top right of command, step 1. Step 2, settings. Step 3, connect settings on the left-hand side. And then I bet you can guess step 4. Yeah, just clicking on that marketing profile. All right, so again, this marketing profile right here will feed onto not only landing pages, but also your Command IDX website, any smart plans sent out of the system. If you create an email design, all of your contact information will autofill, which is beautiful. It saves you a lot of time, but we just need to make sure that this part is set up and all accurate. So one more time, in case you didn't get the steps, just quickly, the 4 steps: your name on the top right of command, step 2, settings, step 3, connect settings on the left side, and that's where you'll see the marketing profile. And if this is completely blank, good news is we can do this for you for free. So I'll send out a link to do that. However, if you're going to be filling this in or want to check over everything here, make sure you're keeping an eye on the fields marked required or with the red asterisk. Okay, it will not allow you to save this page unless you have everything filled out, all the fields with a red asterisk. And you'll see those red asterisks a lot throughout command. So just always note, anytime you see those, you don't have to fill out every field on the page, only the ones with the red stars. So feel free to scroll through to eye over anything, see if you want to add anything further, make note of how we got here so you can come back later. If this is something that you would like for us to do for you, pull this over my notes. we're more than happy to. So if you would like to, I'm going to drop in the chat a link to a quick questionnaire that you can fill out after class. And what it will do is it will prompt us to set up your Command marketing profile and also your Command IDX website. So if you would like us to handle that for you, I dropped a link in the chat. If you're watching this class recorded, I'll put all the links I mentioned during the class in the description of this YouTube video. All right, guys, so that's all the housekeeping work that we need to do. But of course, this is a very important section. So just make sure you feel comfortable on getting back here. All right, so what I want to dive into first is just explaining how listings get into your Command account and how those feed, and you can use those as tools because we'll be using those, of course, for your landing pages. So let's first, if you could click on the listings option on the far left-hand side menu. So this menu on the far left-hand side of Command, we're clicking on the second logo from the bottom. It looks like a little listing sign, your for sale sign, to take you over to the KWLS 2.0. Okay, and before we dive in, just a quick note on the menu on the left side of Command. KW has worked really hard to centralize all of your tools to this one menu. If you had worked with the KW technology prior to Command, a lot of the technology was spread out and it was a little confusing to navigate to find it all. KW has done a great job with centralizing everything to this one menu. So with that being said, if you're newer to Command and you want to start getting your feet wet, right, but you don't know where to start, it would be great to just, this weekend, grab a bottle of wine, kick your feet up, put on Friends, and click down this list here to just see what you have access to. What tools do you have access to? Even if you don't figure out how to use the entire thing this weekend, at least you'll have a good understanding of what tools are in Command so that you can watch, 10-minute to 30-minute video that we have explaining it. So just my little spiel on the best practice to train on Command. This menu here, it's your best friend. You can't break anything, and we can always help you. All right, so now that we are in the listing section of Command, I want to start by saying that all listings will automatically pull over to Command across the entire country. So in the past, you have probably set up IDX feeds on your websites in order to pull over all listings from your MLS. Okay, and in the case of Command, that is not required. Actually, all listings across the entire country and parts of Canada, so the entire US and parts of Canada, will automatically pull into Command. So all you have to do to make the listing pull into Command is put it live in the MLS, and it will pull over into Command within 24 hours, if not quicker. Now, if you are in this listing section and it says there are no listings associated to your account, okay, but you do have listings, all right, first of all, make sure that your MLS ID is in the white pages, and your office staff would have to do that for you. But also, this is just a known issue going on where it's not pulling all the listings to under my listings. KW is working on that because, of course, that'll make your life way easier. However, in the meantime, your listings are in there. So all you need to do to find your listings instead is you can click on the listing search option on the top, or view all, either one. Okay, your browser might ask to know your location. You can allow it. I know it's a little creepy, but it does really help to find the properties on your map. Okay, and so you can go ahead. So I'm, again, clicking the listing search option here. I think you would need to do that instead of view all. My apologies. So instead of clicking view all on the right side, if you did that with me, sorry about that. If you could instead click on the listing search option on the top. That seems to work better here. And you can simply search for your listing based on property address or MLS number. MLS number tends to be a little more direct when I've been searching in the past. However, again, all listings should automatically pull over within 24 hours, if not sooner. I believe KW has said that they're working on making this pull over from the MLS every 16 minutes. So very accurate, right? It'll always be the most up-to-date information because it's pulling directly from the MLS. So that's the way they are going right now. It's pulling over in 24 hours or less from what we've seen. Let's talk about, though, if you cannot find your listing in the KWLS 2.0 and it's been over 24 hours, all you'll want to do is shoot a message to KW support by clicking on the question mark on the top right of Command. And you'll see this chat with support option. Right, and all you need to do is when you chat with support, it will give you the option to do a live chat or leave a message. I usually would just leave a message and put the address that needs to be added in, and they usually push that over within 24 hours. But of course, guys, if you have any issues with that, you can contact us as well, and we're happy to help you with that. All right, so this is the KWLS 2.0, just to clarify this further. All right, your KWLS 2.0, all listings in here will populate onto your Command IDX website, the mobile app, right? So when someone's searching your Command IDX website or the mobile app, etc., that they're not just limited to searching listings in your MLS. They get access to search the entire country of listings. So even if you have, you're in Michigan and you have a client or a friend in California looking, you can still share your mobile app with them or website because they are still able to search homes in their area straight from your website or mobile app. Okay, so all these listings will pull onto any smart plans, any landing pages as well, and again, populate for you. Hey guys, if you have any questions on that, of course, feel free to let me know. I'm going to show you now how we can actually take these listings and implement them into your marketing pieces. All right, so let's get started actually with a listing landing page. So what I want to show you guys first is how to create either a just listed or a just sold single property landing page from, let's say, your listing that we just were able to pull up. So where we go to create any landing pages is the left-hand side menu, the very bottom icon. All right, so that very bottom icon is the consumer icon. And as you're starting to learn the navigation of Command, just a heads up that you can click the KW logo on the top and it will pan it out so you can tell, which one the consumer logo is. And of course, if you hover your mouse over the icons, it'll tell you as well. But the consumer icon, so this is a section where we would go to edit anything to do with our consumer tools, meaning like the website we provide our consumer, or landing pages, or a mobile app, right? Those are all tools for your consumer. So that's the idea here. So again, join me by clicking on the consumer icon on the very bottom left-hand menu. And then if you could go ahead and click on create a new page on the top right. All right, and I know we just had a bunch of new people hop on. So if you're just coming in, we are in command at agent.kw.com. And we're in the consumer section on the left-hand side menu, so the very bottom option. And we are now going to click create a new page on the top right. And if this page is completely blank for you, no worries, that's normal. So click create a new page on the top right, that teal button there. And you'll be given two options here. So you're given the option to create a custom page on your IDX website, so your Command IDX website. Or in this case, for this class, we're going to set up a landing page. Okay, so that's second option. You can go ahead and select it, but I want to take this opportunity to answer the burning question of what is a landing page? Okay, it's a good question. So to explain that, all right, a landing page is kind of like a single property website. A single page website. All right, so it's a single page website that is by nature created to help capture leads. But how it does that is by providing something of value. So for example, if you are surfing the internet and you get prompted on whatever site you're on to put in your contact information, I bet you X out of that and run like a bat out of hell to avoid giving my contact information online, right? I do not want to get spam emails. I get enough emails. All right, so with that in mind, right, the idea of a landing page is what can I provide my client of value for them to give me their contact information? Is that for a private showing on this home, please put in your contact information. For a 10% off coupon at Lowe's, please put in your contact information. For a free CMA, please put in your contact information. So you can see in all three of those examples, I'm providing something of value in exchange for their contact information, right? So that's the idea behind a landing page, is to capture those leads. And so let's take a look at that by clicking as a landing page. So that second option there. And let's go ahead and click the create page option. All right, so that'll take you over to the editing platform for landing pages. And I think you guys are going to actually be pleasantly surprised at how easy it is to make these landing pages. I know I was shocked. So first of all, on the right-hand side, these are all the widgets that we can add in. And these widgets make our life extremely easy. On the left-hand side, we'll see a blank page. So what we're doing first is creating a template, and then it will allow us to edit it and customize that template. So first thing that I would add, and you guys can play around with these widgets to see which one you like best. I'll advise some of my favorites here. So the branded header is what I always lead with if you'd like to try that first. So all you need to do is click and hold that branded header option and drag it over to the blank white page on the left side. Then you can release your mouse to drop it. Now, please, at this point, when we're going through this, right now we're laying the widgets to create the layout of our landing page, okay? Then it will give us the option to customize all of this. So if something looks off or funky, just know we'll have the ability to adjust that. So hold tight on that. Now, since this is a just listed or a just sold single property landing page, I would like the listing information to be next. So I'm going to grab the listing widget to pull that over on the left-hand side and release my mouse. Again, I know this isn't your listing, however, I bet you wish it was, or maybe just even living here would be great. All right, but this is just showing you a preview, again, of how the template will look. And once we configure the widgets, that will give us the opportunity to then customize this. Okay, so don't worry about that part yet. Okay, so you'll see, and it looks very cool. I personally really like this listing widget. I think it looks very professional with the photos, all of the details of the property, scrolling photos, and so forth. So there's not a way to customize, right? Like change around the format here, but how it is looks good. So we can add the next widget. So now, depending on which ones you would like to use on the right-hand side, you can decide to use as many widgets or as little widgets as you would like to. I would always recommend adding in the lead form though. Okay, the lead form is how the person would contact you. If you don't add the lead form, they can't contact you outside of, going to their emails and emailing you. So to add in that lead form, right, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And on the left-hand side, just something to note here, notice this green line, right? When I pull over the widget, that's showing me where on the landing page I would be laying the widget if I were to release my mouse, okay? So I want this to actually be on the bottom of my page. So I dragged it down to the bottom, and let's make sure it added it. That might have been too low. All right, and then we got that added in. Now we'll be playing with some of these other widgets in just a moment here, but just to complete this, because these are the main widgets I would like to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and put agent branding on the bottom as well, so that if they are filling out this information, they see all my branding at the bottom. So again, that's the very first widget. I'm going to take agent branding and put that on the bottom. And it goes nicely with the contact form, as you can see. Same formatting and same color, and it will autofill all of your information from the command marketing profile. So now let's take a look, if we are happy with the format of this. Now I want to go ahead and configure these widgets or customize it. Now you'll notice on the top right, you cannot just publish the page once you've laid the widgets. You will have to first configure the widgets. Okay, that's a big noteworthy moment. I mean, once you get that down, that's just the main thing that tends to catch people up when editing landing pages. It's kind of hidden down here. So just make note that when creating landing pages, we do want to configure widgets on the bottom right. And that will pull up a list of the widgets that I currently have. Now you'll notice the green dot or check rather on the right of each of the widgets names. Some widgets don't really require additional editing. You can edit them, but they don't require it. So you really have to just go through and edit the widget that does not have the green check. I'm going to go through all of them though to show you what you can do. So starting on the very top one, I'm just going to click on the top widget on the right hand side to pull up anything that I can edit for that widget. So right now I'm working on the number one widget, right? And I can see on the top right here which widget I'm working on. So this is one of four, so the first one here. And for this one, I have all my contact information pulling from the command marketing profile, but let's say I want to go ahead and put in a title here, or header. So I could put something like just listed, just sold, coming soon. Okay, just a quick disclaimer on coming soon listings. Just check with your broker on any compliance issues around coming soon listings. It just tends to vary depending on the area, whether it's allowed. But for just listed, just sold, you know, proudly presenting 123 Main Street, whatever you'd like to write. And what's cool is you can see it update right away. So once you enter it in, and just a heads up, it only gives you 30 characters, so it's not overly long. But once you click Save and Apply on the very bottom, it will update that right away, which is great. So if I don't like how that turned out, I can always alter the header and resave it for that to update immediately. Okay, so all your contact information should be pulling over from the command marketing profile, but you can make any edits as needed. Click Save and Apply. And then we're going to the next widget. So on the top right, where it says 1 out of 4, or however many widgets you have, I'm clicking the next arrow. See this little teal arrow on the top right? If you click that arrow, it'll take you to the next widget, which is where we need to add our listing in. So what I'm going to do is click Browse Listings. And this is where the KWLS 2.0 comes in, right where we started class in the listing section of command. This is one of the places that it integrates to. So again, all listings are searchable right from here within 24 hours of going live in the MLS, if not sooner. So you can search by property address or MLS number. Okay, but just for today's class, if you'd like to scroll and just randomly pick one, go for it. You can click on Select to the far right of any listing to pull in not only the listing details, but also all the photos. So as far as this goes, I can go ahead and select which photo I would like to be the main one. Typically you'll select the outside of the house, but if you have a glorious pool like this or a great backyard, you might want to select one of the other photos, and you can click Save and Apply. For it to add that in right here. Now, if any of this information is incorrect, right, like the bedrooms or bathrooms are incorrect, I see what's happening for you, Paul. Unfortunately, you do not have the ability to change it right from here. What I would recommend is once you save this landing page, well, first of all, I would take a screenshot of it and then send that over to KW support by clicking the question mark on the top right of command, and I'll show you how to do that again after we get out of the landing page. And Paul, of course, we're happy to contact them on your behalf. If you need help, feel free to email us. Right, but in theory, all of this information should pull over correctly from the MLS. It's pulling directly from the MLS. But if it does not, again, you do not have the ability to update that yourself, but KW support can update it, and they're pretty good about updating it within 24 to 48 hours, if not quicker, from what I've seen. All right, guys, so we got that widget edited, right? Configured rather. So now I'm clicking on the arrows on the very top right. I'm just going through all 4 widgets here. So that'll take me on down to the next widget. And now, as I mentioned, some of these widgets, there's very minimal to do. All that there's to do for this widget is I can change interested, let's talk. So maybe I would want to say contact for a free CMA or for a private showing in this case. So contact for a private showing, I click Save and Apply, and it adds that in. All right, last but not least, we have our last widget. And since this is our contact information, most of this should autofill from your command marketing profile, but feel free to check over anything, click Save and Apply on the bottom to finish configuring your widgets. KW's goal is to have all listings over to command within 16 minutes. So 24 hours is really just the turnaround. We quote that your listing should definitely be there by then. But typically that, from what we've heard from KW, their goal is every 16 minutes it pulls over from the MLS to update that. So that should be in theory even quicker. All right. So now that we have created our listing landing page here, let's go ahead and change the name on the top left as well. I always forget this one. So on the top left, let's go ahead and change this. You know, you could write just listed or just sold. 232 Main Street. All right, and if you, another good question, Bill. If you accidentally added a widget twice, it should give you the option, let me get out of this one, to delete it. Let's see what I need to do. Well, generally when you click on a widget, it might be because I've already configured it that it won't let me. Generally, if you click on a widget, and I'll show you because we're going to create another one of these for an open house, it'll let you delete the extra widget. I believe it's probably because we already configured it, so it's not letting me remove them at this point. But I'll show you how to do that, Bill, on the next one. Yeah, I'll show you guys, because we're going to create a second landing page in just a second here. I'll show you guys how to reorder widgets and delete them prior to clicking configure widgets. Okay. I'll show you that in just a second. So good questions. Hold on to those. All right, so now that we have configured the widgets, it will allow us to publish the page. So now this is active, right? We can click publish page. So let's go ahead and do that. But don't worry, I'll be coming back to create a second landing page to give you guys a couple more details. That'll be fun to know. So for now, feel free to go ahead and click publish page. No one's gonna see it. Literally, if you do not share it with them, no one's gonna find this landing page. So go ahead and click publish just so you can see what it looks like when a site or when a page goes live, and you can practice with it. Okay, so now what I want to show you guys is a couple details on how to market out your landing page, and then we'll come back to talking more about landing pages. But now let's talk about how to distribute your landing pages, most effective way to generate leads with those, and so forth. So if you could join me, if you are still in the consumer section, which you should be, let's go ahead and select the landing page option at the top. And that will take you to view any landing pages that you have created to the state. So if it's just one, that's great. All right, so here's that landing page that I created today. I can go ahead and click on that landing page to open it in a new tab, and this will show me, you know, what a client would see when viewing this. So this is the live landing page. And I know that, you know, it's not overly customizable, but wow, I mean, I added 4 widgets. Once I get the hang of this, you know, I could do this in like 10 minutes or less. And in my opinion, this looks extremely impressive. B, your client thinks that you created a custom website to promote their listing. Wow, what a great agent you are. And when you get in the hang of this, right, this could take you literally 10 minutes and you're blowing away your listing clients, A. B, let's talk about putting this on our signs, okay? So there's lots of different ways we can market out our landing pages, but I'm gonna start with talking about putting it on your signs, like outside the house for sale signs. So this is the URL for this landing page. Now I know that if I drove past a sign and saw that URL on there, I would never ever remember it. So you can actually get a domain name from Godaddy, a site like Godaddy, for 99 cents, and I'll send out the link to do so. So if you're not familiar what a domain name is, a domain name would be like, I could buy a domain name that was ConnieBassHomes.com. And then I could contact Scott Leroy Marketing and say, hey guys, will you forward my new domain to my landing page? Okay. So that would make it so that I could put my domain name on my signs. Most agents will put it like on a rider, for example, like the smaller sign on the very top that you can put in. That's removable. So a lot of agents, you know, will buy like 232mainstreet.com, and then we can help forward it to this landing page. Then on your sign on the rider, you could put 232mainstreet.com. So then when people are driving by, okay, yeah, the what are they called? The flyer boxes, those are great, right? But I don't want to get out of my car as a consumer. I don't want to get out of my car. I definitely don't want another sheet of paper floating around my house, right? What I want is to be able to drive by, quickly see an address that makes sense, right? 232mainstreet.com, that I can go to and view all the property details and contact the agent right from there if I have any questions, right? So that is the goal of these pages right here. So again, I'm just going to summarize what I said because it's really helpful with landing pages. You do not have to get a domain name by any means, right? But if you are going to be marketing out this landing page, like on a sign where someone needs to read it and then go to that site, I would recommend getting a domain name. They're max like $12 a year. So they're pretty nominal priced, and it's really important for branding. Just to let you know, you can make some edits on the 3 dots on the far right of the landing page name. I just want to let you know that this is where you would go to edit it, and also change the URL. So you can shorten it to an extent, but only that part. So that's the part, it will let you change the URL to, let's say, 232 Main Street. However, so that's changed. However, you can see that that is still not really a easy domain to drive by a sign and get that in my head. Yes, you could absolutely add it as a QR code, and we can create QR codes from your landing pages. Typically, you'll want to put QR codes, you know, more if it's on a flyer or a postcard, like they have it in their hand versus like driving by a sign. Of course, if they're walking by the sign, they could take a picture of the QR code. And if you've never used QR codes before, it's like that barcode looking thing. And if you take a picture of it, I know my iPhone does, if I just, you know, go to my camera and click on it, it'll take me to a link, right? Like to this listing landing page. So QR codes are really great for postcards, flyers. Typically marketing, they'll be holding in their hand that they can take a picture with their phone. And if you need help setting up a QR code, we can help you with that. Great recommendation, Scott, thanks. Okay, but let's talk about times that you wouldn't necessarily need a, you know, a domain name in order to market out this landing page. And I'm gonna pull up a Facebook business account in a different tab here so I can show you guys how to also promote these landing pages on Facebook. So 1 second, I'm just pulling that over. So when you're adding these to Facebook, that is a time that you would not need a domain name. All right, so let me show you. I'm pulling this over here. So just a Facebook account, right? So if you have a Facebook business account, what you could do is actually copy this URL. Right, so I highlighted the entire thing to right click and copy it. Right, so you can copy the URL and then come over to your Facebook account to create a post. And we can write something like proudly presenting and go ahead and post this in right away. Now, of course, guys, you can create Facebook ads from command, and it does prompt you for a website URL to direct traffic to after they fill out like the Facebook lead gen form. And this is where we would really, really suggest using a listing landing page to route traffic to. Okay, so of course, the method I am showing you right here is showing you how to just manually post it out to Facebook, like on your Facebook business page, right? You can just copy and paste the URL. And the cool thing about that is it will show previews of the home if you do it this way, right, on your Facebook account, like this. But again, you do have the ability to run Facebook ads in command. That is not a free service, right? You would have to pay for those Facebook ads. However, this creating a listing landing page to include on that Facebook ad is ideal in capturing leads. If you have any questions on that, feel free to let us know. All right. So I am going to go back on over to command, just not to switch around on anyone too much here. And guys, feel free to drop any questions that you might have in the chat, and I'll answer those as I go along as well. All right, guys, so next what I'm going to show you is how to create an open house sign-in sheet. All right, so the idea behind this landing page is to capture leads as they walk into your open house. So, for security reasons, if you could just go ahead and sign in, you could bring your tablet, for example, or your laptop, just have it up so that they can simply put in their name, email information, you know, explain it however you would like to. That's for security for them coming in or whatnot. And you can have them sign in so that the lead comes straight to your command account. And I'll also show you where leads come next. All right, so in case I lost anyone anywhere, we are on the consumer section of command. Yeah, that very bottom icon. This won't take long at all. I think you guys will like this feature, and I'll show you some additional widgets as well. So I am clicking create a new page on the very top right. So same process here, create a new page, and we are doing as a landing page, and click create page. Okay, open house sign-in sheet. Super easy. Same concept here. We're really adding a lot of the same widgets, but how we do it to make it differently is, so first of all, I'll go ahead and start with agent branding. Oh, no, I lied. Well, this is a good time to show you guys, since you asked, how do you delete a widget that you did not mean to add? So since I didn't mean to add this one, I can click on the widget, and when I do that, it'll give me this little teal bar right here. This will give me the ability to delete it, or the arrows would give me the ability to move it below or above the other widgets. So in this case, I'll just click that little trash can to get rid of it and add the branded header instead. That's what I meant to add. All right, and so now typically I want to go ahead and add in the lead form. Okay, so that's the lead form. And we're going to change this to have, instead of it saying interested, let's talk, we're going to have it say, please sign in for the open house or something to that extent. Right. And then I typically will put in the listing information under it so that they can browse through the listing if they would like to, right from under there. Okay. So far, all these widgets are most of the ones we've added in. I just want to show you guys a couple other widgets while we're here as well that I like to include from time to time, depending on what I'm working on. I really like to add in a video widget, especially if I have a virtual tour of the listing. I will generally add in this video widget right here. So the video widget will allow you to add a YouTube video, or, you know, if you have a virtual tour. So generally, if you had a virtual tour done, the photographer would provide you for a link of wherever they uploaded that virtual tour, whether it's Vimeo or YouTube, right? And you can use that link to put the virtual tour right on your landing page. Okay, and I'll show you that in just a minute when we click configure widgets. Outside of that, guys, you know, we do have some additional things over here. I just want to show you, I like the market snap, which will show the neighborhood stats, like active listings, pending listings. So if you want to jot down just little notes on widgets you like, I just want to show you those real quick. So again, the market snap is the one that will show you an overview of the neighborhood that they are a part of or that the listing is in, days on market, and so forth. Right, and again, if I want to get rid of any widgets, I can just click on it and go ahead and click the trash can button. All right, I'm going to end this with the agent branding on the bottom. Now that I'm all good to go, I'll click configure widgets on the right-hand side. Now, before I do that, I just want to point out there is the option to add content blocks as well near the bottom. So kind of fast. So the content blocks are right here at the bottom. So that does give you the ability to add in like a single image or like a text box, for example, to manually write in stuff. All right, so you do have that option, but generally using the widgets makes your life way, way easier. So I would recommend that. And then click configure widgets. Okay, so the configuring widgets will be the same thing as we went through, you know, the first time around creating this. So you can go through each widget to make sure it is, you know, exactly how you want it. So I'm going to start from the top here to just quickly go through this for a open house sign-in sheet. So the main two things I play with here are, right, I can put text right here and also text right here. So the two things I play with here is, you know, please sign in and welcome to the open house. and also the address. So welcome to the open house. So we can put that here. We can put welcome to the open house on the top or the property address. Or we could put please sign in. Please sign in to the open house. Oh, almost enough. You know, there's not too many characters you can use, as you can see. All right, so I'll click save and apply. And of course, I can go back and edit that anytime. So if I don't like how that sounds, right, I'll just come back and I can quickly edit that. That's no problem. So let's go to the next one. I'm always clicking the next arrow, right, to go ahead and edit this. So I could put welcome to the open house on 123 Main Street. Save and apply. It'll add that in, right? So you can see the two fields that you can kind of play with in order to write in the verbiage. Right, and I'm going to show you where, so here they would put in their contact information and it would shoot that right over to your command account. And I'll show you where that information goes. All right, so just going through the widgets here, I can go ahead and select the listing, just like we did before. And save that. Right, so I just selected the listing. Feel free to watch on my screen because the main part, I'm going to go through these next couple widgets a little fast because I want to show you the video widget since we already did these listing widgets. So feel free to watch on my screen. Now that I have this widget selected, I'll click save and apply, or I mean the listing selected, and that's when it will populate it over to the left side. So now clicking on the arrow on the top right, this is where I want to take you guys to the video widget. Okay. Let me pull that up. So in general, the video would need to already be on a site like YouTube or Vimeo, for example. I'm just going to pull up a quick Keller Williams video. Okay. So let's say, you know, especially if it's generally I like to do this with virtual tours, but there are a lot of really great Keller Williams videos out there if you just search YouTube for it. What we want to do is go ahead and click share on the bottom of whatever video, literally any video on YouTube, click share. Then click copy. That will copy the URL. Sorry. Okay, so that we can go back to our landing page. So we're just copying that URL and we're going to just paste it in right here. Okay, so that's where we're putting the video URL. And we need to go ahead and put in a headline. So if we could go ahead and put in like virtual tour. You can put in description as well about the gleaming hardwoods, et cetera, and click save and apply. And like magic, that video will display on your landing page. All right, so I can go ahead and click for the final widget here. All looks good. So same concept here, guys. I'll go ahead and change the name to, let's say, open house sign-in sheet. So when I'm ready, when I actually go for the open house, so I'll go ahead and click to publish the page. And again, don't worry about publishing the page and being concerned that someone will find it because they won't find it unless you provide it to them. All right, so what you would want to do is create that open house sign-in sheet prior to your open house. Then at the time of your open house, you'd want to pull up like your tablet or your laptop, and you would simply come to the consumer section of command. Just remember that to view the landing pages, you have to switch that on the top. And that will give you the option to go ahead and click to open that, you know, open house sign-in sheet so that clients could, as they come in, go ahead and fill that in. All right, so now let's talk about, all right, well, if they fill in this information, where does that contact information go? Okay, so you do receive, as far as for any landing pages, and I'll send this out I love this page. I'm just going to pull over this page from answers.kw.com. It's how you get notified about everything through command. You know, do you receive an email notification? Is that notification in command, etc. So especially for landing pages, right? You'll notice landing pages, you should get an email, a command notification, and notification from your Kelly app. Okay, so let's break those down. So what that's saying is when someone fills out this form, whether it's at a, you know, open house or they got it from your Facebook page, right? Anyone fills out one of these landing pages, that will send the lead to the contact section of command. So the contact section of the command is the second option down. So first, what I'm going to show you how to do is to manually pull up your leads before we talk about notifications. So to view all leads that have come in from landing pages, Facebook ads, etc. Again, we're in the contact section of command. So that's the second icon down. If you could go ahead and click on filters on the top, that filters button. And we want to click on leads only. So leads only at the top and click apply. Now pull up all leads that have come in from your Command IDX website, the mobile app, landing pages, etc. I personally like to check this frequently to make sure I didn't miss any notifications. What's cool though is you can actually set up a smart view for this. So if you're not familiar with smart views, it's basically like you can save a search in your contacts so that you can simply click on the smart view and it'll pull up that exact search. So if you want to, you know, save this search to pull up your leads, all you would need to do is come up to the smart views option here and click to create the smart view and name it. I like to suggest Q2 leads, for example. You can even set it as your default. So if you want it so that every time you log into command, this is the first default setting that you see, you can go ahead and set that. Okay, I'm going to leave that off because I like to view all my contacts when I come in. And then you can click Save Smart View. All right, another place that you can find your leads, just to show you that those are also on your dashboard, is so by clicking the home icon on the left-hand side, that will show you a bunch of widgets here, okay, including recent leads, which I don't know if it's the same in your account, but mine populated automatically at the bottom. So let me show you how you can pull the recent leads to the top of your dashboard if you would like to. So that's always in front of your face when you log in. So again, I'm on the little home icon on the left-hand side. And I am clicking on customize home. So the green button on the top right. And that will give you the option to decide what you want to view in general on your dashboard and also rearrange it. So what I really want to show you is, moving up the leads. It's on the bottom, but if you click on the dots in a rectangle on the bottom, like where it says leads, your mouse will turn into a hand so that you can drag and drop that. And then click apply. Yeah, guys, this class is being recorded. It will actually be up on our YouTube channel within a couple hours after class. It usually just takes a couple hours to load. But let me drop the YouTube link in I know I showed you guys slmtraining.com, which is great too. However, our YouTube channel will always show the most recent trainings at the very top. So I have this bookmarked. And this right here are literally our most recent. These are all from this week that we have created. So you can always view our most recent trainings, the most up-to-date new features and so forth right from here. So I like to have that bookmarked too in case you'd like that. But yeah, this training will be up on youtube.com/Scott Leroy Marketing in like 2 hours after class. All right, guys. So we'll switch back over, talk a little bit more about leads. Okay, so now that we have our leads pulled to the top here, let's talk about how we're notified of these leads. So according to our little answers article here, right? You are supposed to be notified via the bell notification in command. So that is right here. So when that article, and I'll send this article out too. So I'm sending this out in the chat just so you guys have it. This is just how you get notified of every single little thing in command. So I find this really helpful to check. I'm sending this out in the chat so you guys have that. Okay, and so when it says on there that you're notified via command, what it means is in the bell icon on the top right of command. So anytime you get notifications in command, you should see that in the bell icon on the top right. Depending on what it is, if it's a lead, you should get email notifications as well. Those have been a little wonky the last couple days, but I'm going to show you how to check which email address it's going to. Okay, lead notifications. And third, the Kelly app. If you do not have the Kelly app on your phone, that's spelled K-E-L-L-E, I would go ahead and download that. It's your same login for command that you would just log right into. And basically that's how you would get push notifications on your phone of any new leads, new task notifications each day, compliance notes, etc. So also really great to have the Kelly app on your phone. If you have any questions on that, just let me know. But real quick, let me show you how you would check what email address lead notifications would go to. Okay, again, it's been a little wonky. So if you're not getting those right now, that's happening for everyone. But if you could join me, it's kind of a strange site that we don't go too much, but we found this is how you double check your email. So if you can just come with me to double check your email, you can kind of forget this all exists after we do this to just double check. So let's go to access.kw.com. Again, all we're doing, we're just going to check real quick that email notifications are going to the right spot. So access.kw.com. Click the little green profile icon on the top right to select the profile here. And this is what email address it will go to. Please just make sure it's the correct email address, it's spelled correctly, and then click update. And that is where you'll get all email notifications. All right, guys. So for the last 5 minutes of class here, I just want to show you guys one last thing, and feel free to ask any questions. I do just want to answer Stephanie's question. The question was, are you suggesting that I buy a URL for every listing so they all have their own landing page? You absolutely do not have to do that. However, am I suggesting that is the best route to successfully sell your listings and impress your listing client? Yes, I am. So of course, this is not something that you have to do. However, purchasing a domain name on Godaddy, again, those generally cost anywhere from $1 to $12 a year. So they're pretty nominal as far as the cost goes. But yeah, if you can work it in your business that you can purchase a domain name like 123mainstreet.com and create a landing page for each one of your listings, I would suggest that. It is not required, but it is beneficial. Yeah, I mean, if you buy the domain name, you know, typically, especially in this market, right, listings are not lasting for, shoot, like a week, much less a year. So yeah, it's not like you'll need that domain name for more than a year. When you buy a domain name, it does charge you for the year, so it will stay active. However, you know, so you're really looking at a max of $12 for this quote unquote investment. And again, not required, but just really great for branding, for providing your clients, you know, an easier way to look at the information about the listing to sell it quicker. And also you're going to impress the heck out of your listing client. So just a recommendation. I just want to let you know if that feels overwhelming, no worries. You can always email me for more insight on that, and I'm happy to provide that. All right, guys, the last landing page I'm going to show you is just the fact that there are neighborhood landing pages in command. And these are actually one of my favorite landing pages in command, and then I will let you guys go. But the neighborhood landing page can be created for each one of your contacts individually. So this landing page that I'm about to show you is specific to your contact. Okay. So, right, we just worked on making like 2 landing pages that you can make in general and spread to the world, right? The landing page I'm about to show you will be specific to your client. It's a very cool one. All right, so if you could join me by going to the contact section of command, and if you don't already have a test contact in your account, feel free to add one. Yeah, I'm gonna go on over to a test contact I think I have. Oh no, I don't. I'll add Albus Dumbledore. I don't know why that came to mind. But he's gonna buy a house today. So if you don't already have a practice contact in your account, go ahead and click add contact. It's super, super important to send yourself things in your database or in command before sending it to everyone you know. All right, so please, please make sure to do that. Add yourself to your database, add an email address that you have, send yourself items before you send it to your entire sphere. All right, so all we're doing is we are searching for that contact name and simply clicking on their name to pull that up. And I should have this done for you guys within like 5 minutes. If you can stay around, I appreciate it. I think you'll really like this tool. Okay, let's talk about when we would use this tool. So let's say I was standing in line at the grocery store 6 feet away and I was wearing my name badge like the good realtor I am. So they start asking me about the market. And come to find out, they're looking to buy and sell in about a year. So they're a long-term buyer. So this is a really great tool for your long-term buyers. If you'd like to start the notes on this section with that, that would be great. All right, so you learn which neighborhoods in general they're looking at moving into. But again, they've made it clear they're not interested in like a year, right? Or for a year, rather. So what I can do is I can come into my command account when I get home, and I can come into their contact record and add their neighborhoods that they might be interested in. So I'm going to show you how that would work. So I scroll on down slightly and click add neighborhood. It'll ask if it can know your location. I would recommend it. It makes your life a little easier. And we're going to go ahead and search for whatever neighborhood they indicated they're interested in. When you are searching for these neighborhoods, you'll want to make sure you click on the option from the dropdown that displays, and that will add it below. So I can see this neighborhood is added, and I can always X out to get rid of it if needed. So that's one way to add neighborhoods. So I can keep searching. The second way I can add neighborhoods is by the suggested neighborhoods down here. So these are neighborhoods nearby. I can simply click on any of these neighborhoods that I think might interest him to add it to the list. Okay, the third and final way that you can search for neighborhoods is actually on a map. And for this, I would recommend if you have trouble finding the neighborhood by searching it, I would suggest finding it on a map instead. So to show you how that would work is if you click on Find on Map, it'll bring up a map of the US and it should know your location if you let your browser. And first, I would always recommend searching for an area or neighborhood in your area, even if it's not the exact one. If you search for one on the dropdown, it'll zoom you in nicely to your area. All right, and then I can use the plus and minus sign on the bottom right to zoom in and out. And as I start zooming in, I start to see more and more of these, I call them puzzle pieces in my head, so I'm just going to call them that. See more and more of these green puzzle pieces, which show me the outline of each neighborhood in my area. Okay, so if I hover my mouse over one of those quote unquote green puzzle pieces, I can see what neighborhood that is, and I can click to go ahead and select that neighborhood. Now, this is especially useful if you have any trouble finding the neighborhood name. Now, these neighborhoods are pulling over from Nextdoor, like the Nextdoor app. So you do not have the ability to customize the neighborhood name. My understanding is like the residents of the neighborhood collaborate together to get that neighborhood name. Either way, though, you are not able to edit this information. So if you're having trouble finding a certain neighborhood, try to zoom in on the map to see if that's encompassed in a larger area. I think the inconsistency comes from like the differing definition for neighborhood, right? In residential North Carolina, we define neighborhoods by actual residential neighborhoods. In Chicago, for example, right, that a neighborhood might be a couple blocks. So I think that might mix things up a little bit in here, but just know if you can't find a neighborhood, zoom in on the map. And this right here, Valentine, is not a residential neighborhood in my area, for example, but that will encompass all neighborhoods within that little block. And I can go ahead and click Save. I have not seen a way to put in a request with Nextdoor to add neighborhoods in. However, if you'd like to shoot an email, KW support would be the person to go to add in a neighborhood. They possibly could. So if you click on the question mark on the top right of command and then chat with support, again, you'll get like a live chat and a leave a message option. I always leave a message and just let them know that's missing so they can hopefully push that in. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we did it. We added the neighborhoods in. So now let's take a look at what that quote unquote hard work, once we get the hang of it, that could take us 30 seconds to do. And now let's take a look at what we just created. So I'm clicking preview. So on this map right here, I'm gonna click preview to just pull up a new tab to take a look at the neighborhood landing page. So this is the third and final landing page I wanna show you guys in class. One that I'd probably get most excited about. So I absolutely love this tool in Command. Now keep in mind, this is for your long-term buyers as I explain this, right? Because as far as what you are designating as the agent, all you're doing is saying what neighborhoods they are interested in, right? And that kind of throws agents off at this point because when do you not put in this, price and square footage, and you're always so picky, dang it. Right, but that is not what we are doing in this tool. So the idea behind this tool is that these are for long-term buyers. They're not interested in buying or selling right at this moment, maybe in a year. Okay, so, but they mention what neighborhoods they might be interested in. So you set them up on this neighborhood landing page, and I'll overview this a little, but you can set up a smart plan to send out this neighborhood landing page once every 2 weeks or once every month. So what that would do is provide your clients, your long-term buyer, with homes in the neighborhoods that they're interested in. At that time, they can come in, so they can look through the neighborhoods at the top here. They can filter their own search, right? So they can filter it by beds, baths, and price themselves. However, the idea behind this is, okay, I am not looking to buy right now. However, I would love to look at a few homes in my dream neighborhood. Well, then suddenly, let's say the husband or the wife sees a home that they absolutely have to have, right? They can't live without it. Well, shoot, homes are flying off the market in a week. They can't wait a year. And suddenly you have a showing appointment with your client that was going to wait a year, right? I personally really like the fact that you can only provide them with the neighborhood options here as opposed to the complete criteria, because it makes me feel as a consumer like I'm in charge. I'm the one who's looking at homes and establishing my criteria. I'm not getting pressured to buy by a realtor, right? Which is sometimes how they may feel. So this is a great way to provide your clients with the tool that they think they're searching themselves, but you also get notified of any homes that they save or look at, which is helpful. Now, outside of this being just a home search, which is great, but there are lots of those out there, but I really like the neighborhood stats on the top right. So if you click on neighborhood stats, this is what I think really sets this tool apart. And again, all this information will pull from Nextdoor. So you cannot change this information. And let's see if it'll load nicely for me. There we go. All right, so this pulls from Nextdoor, all this information on the home, right? You'll see it's kind of like a little live CMA for them, which for this reason, so you'll see current stats and sold stats. For this reason, it makes it a great tool for your listing clients as well. So if your client, so far I've shown you guys how to use this tool for your buyer clients, but if you have a listing client, you can put in their neighborhood in their contact record and provide them with this page, and they would be able to see all the homes that are on the market immediately, any that sell, the price per square footage and so forth. So they can really track that themselves. Again, you cannot edit this information. It pulls from Nextdoor. So if you notice any inconsistencies, the most you could do is contact KW support and they should be able to send that over to Nextdoor. Lastly, just a couple other features that I think is cool. If they are an out-of-town guest, they can search their place of work to see how far the neighborhood is from, their new place of work. It syncs with Google Maps, so they can shoot it right to their phone as well. Nearby schools, always a hot topic. Places, this syncs with Yelp, so great for out-of-town clients as well who don't know the area as well. Maybe they can see, what shopping and restaurants are around, see more homes nearby, and contact you. Go for it. All right, so this is the neighborhood landing page. I know I kind of scrolled through that really quick there, but I just want to explain real quick as I wrap up class how we would distribute this landing page. Okay. And then I promise I'll let you enjoy your Friday. So how we would distribute this landing page is one of two ways. You can either just email this out as a one-off link. So if you want to just click copy link right here, right? Then you would pull over, then you could pull up your emails, right? And just send off an email with that link in it. All right, so that's one option, that you can just copy the link and you would literally just go in an email and say something like, hi, here's a website I created just for you to search homes. You know, let me know if you have any questions. The good news is anytime your client clicks on that link, whether it's today or in 4 months, it'll always show the most up-to-date listings, right? So it'll always update for you, which is wonderful. Now, alternatively, right, and this is not the Smart Plans class, however, the main way to generally send out the neighborhood landing page is through the monthly neighborhood nurture or the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, okay? And I'm gonna send out a tip video on that in the chat real quick. And it'll just show you like a 10-minute overview of how to set up the monthly neighborhood nurture, which is just a smart plan. Okay, if you're not familiar with smart plans, it's just basically, it'll send out this landing page to your client once every 2 weeks or once a month. So that is obviously really great to use. And again, I'm dropping the instructions in the chat. So I just put it's a short 10-minute video that I just dropped in the chat. That'll show you now from this part how to set up the smart plan in order to send this out automatically once each month or twice each month. All right, guys, that is all I have for you on listings and landing pages. I know that was a lot, and I'm sure your brain is swimming. As you have questions as you're going through this, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm more than happy to help you. You can put attention, my name, which is Leah, Leah, and I'd be more than happy to look at your account directly. And I'll put that in the chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you through all this listing and landing pages stuff. All right, guys, I hope this is helpful. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll stick around for any questions.